me see you, our honorable panelists. Yes, beautiful. So we have Henry Dottey and then Adeline as well. Before we go into the main business of today, I would want to introduce them by telling you what their profiles are. Then you know that you are in the right hands for today in your personal branding journey. Okay, so Henry Dottey is a marketing and communications professional with 23 years of continuous practice. He has worked with government and other private sector businesses in finance, education, insurance, and media. Mr. Dottey holds a Master of Business Administration Marketing option from the University of Ghana Business School. Wow. And a BA as well in Communication Studies from the Institute of Journalism. Nice one. He is an accredited member of the Institute of Public Relations, Ghana, and the vice president of the Institute. He is a conference speaker and serves on a number of committees and boards. Mr. Dottey, we are happy to have you on board. We believe you are going to impact us so much this morning. Thank you for coming up.
Thank you very much, Eunice, for having me. It's my pleasure to be here. And I trust that we're going to learn and share together. So definitely. I'm happy to be here this morning.
Definitely, yes. Thank you. We have again with us Adeline AC Sutherland. Beautiful name. Adeline is currently the global marketing lead for WSUP for short. That is Water and Sanitation for the Urban Poor in the Sub-Saharan Africa and South Asia. For over 10 years, she has built knowledge in brand building in beauty, food, and education. She is passionate about branding with with experience working with big brands at Unilever and Ola. She was most recently with L'Oreal as marketing manager at L'Oreal West Africa in charge of Ghana, Maybelline New York, and Dark and Lovely. Nice one. She's an author with 7 books on Amazon. Beautiful to know. Adeline loves to mentor and guide young people through the curves and lines of life. Welcome on board, Adeline. We are happy to have you on board to share with us. Yeah, family, let me see some reactions. Yes. Okay, beautiful. Yes. Okay, so just some ground rules so that we are all aligned on how we are going to run this morning. Once you have a question in the course of the program, please feel free to put up your hand or drop your questions in the chat box, and we'll gladly read them and then address them all. Thank you for coming. And please know that the session is also being recorded. You can play it back on our YouTube channel as well after the session. Thank you. Okay, so as we go into the business of today, that is on personal branding, maybe I would want to start with Dottey. I want to start with you to tell us what you think, in your opinion, is personal branding and why is personal branding even so important to us?
Thank you very much, Eunice, for the question. So I work in public relations and marketing, and one of the things in public relations that we do is to build and maintain or manage the image and reputation of organizations, of people, of issues, and of projects, ideas. Now, so drawing that into personal branding for me is the process of creating an image and perception about an individual, about somebody that sets you apart from other people. So you must be known for something. What is that thing that you are known for? And how are you distinguished from other persons? So I say it's the process of building an image and reputation of individuals that influences or that can influence people and sets you apart from other people. It gives a distinct and unique identity of who you are.
Yeah, nice one. Okay, so from what you just said, you should be known for something. And that could be positive or negative, right?
Well, yes, it can be positive or negative. And most of the time, people create brands of themselves without knowing that they are creating a brand.
Mm-hmm.
So people talk about carving a niche, being a niche area, doing things my way in a certain way. All of those things contribute to building the brand and perception, and it can be negative or influence. If you're not cautious or deliberate about the things you are doing, you realize that the people's perception about you, which actually becomes their reality, because that's what they know of you, what they perceive you to be, becomes your personal brand. So you must be cautious. I mean, in journalism, or even in public relations, we say that there's always a story to be told. But who tells the story shapes the story. Therefore, you must own the narrative of sharing your story, being in the front line of telling your own story. Otherwise, other people will tell the story for you. And do they understand the full context? Do they have the full facts? Do they understand the issues to be able to tell your story for you? No. And therefore, leave that perception and storytelling. Therefore, if you are not conscious about building your brand and you're just there doing things anyhow, people will build a brand for you. They will put you in the jacket, and that becomes your brand as far as the people are concerned.
This is deep. This is deep. Do you know what struck me? It's about how people's perception becomes their reality of you. Okay, so in that bit, we want to bring in Adeline to touch on the benefits of having a positive personal brand. If we are saying it is important, what is it? What are the benefits to the individual? Hi, Adeline. Adeline, I think we lost you. Okay. Hello, Adeline. Hello. Okay. Hello. Okay, I may have to continue with Henry. Hello, Adeline.
Hi, I'm back.
Okay, nice to have you
Yes.
back.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't know if you got the question before
No, can you
you
ask the
left.
question again, please?
Okay, I wanted you to touch on the benefits of personal branding to the individual.
Oh, definitely. There are huge benefits to branding yourself as an individual. The idea, as Henry mentioned, about personal branding is to differentiate yourself. What makes you different? Um, what added value are you bringing to the table? And so, if you build your personal brand, you are basically selling your value. You're showcasing the highlights of your reel to say this is what I am capable of doing. And so it really helps you attract, if you are looking for employment, for example, attract the correct fit for you because you have showcased that this is what I am capable of doing, this is my added value. If you're running your own business as well, it also helps you connect with your audience, so your audience is able to connect with who you are. Somebody said that people don't pick a product off the shelf, they pick a brand off the shelf. So they pick a connection of the shelf. So when people are able to connect with your brand, it is you they are picking. So that is whether it is an employer or you are a small business owner and you want to connect with a certain audience. So those are the two major things I would mention.
Wow. Beautiful, beautiful. Now we can all acknowledge and confirm that it is very beneficial to create a positive personal brand. Okay, so that leads me to the next question that either of you can take. That is to also know how can one consciously build a positive brand image? How? What will you say are the golden rules to building a positive brand image?
Eunice,
Okay.
maybe adding a little to what Adeline said earlier. I mean, when you build a
Okay.
personal brand of yourself, as well, it gives you a lot of confidence because you know who you are, you know what you are made of, you know your stuff. So it gives you a certain confidence and aura around you that helps you to, go about the things that you do. So the examples about seeking a job and etc. There are several benefits that comes to you when you build a good positive brand. But one of the things I'd like to highlight is that it makes you really confident because you're sure of your facts. You're aware of your environment. You're aware of the things that you are made of, and so it helps you go there. But how do you build a brand? I outlined 5 things that I think can help you to build a good personal brand. I think that first of all, you need to be able to define the things that you want to do and say to yourself, how do I want to be known? What do I want people to know about me? How do I want people to address me? Like they say, you dress how you want to be addressed. So that's part of the entire conversation. But define yourself, how you want to be addressed, how you like people to know you. Okay. So that's the first thing that I'd like to say. The second point is that you need to establish a presence. Establishing a presence goes in diverse ways. Give a personality to yourself. How do I want to be known? So, 3 years ago, if you knew me 3 years ago, I didn't have a beard. I mean, I was clean shaven, everything, no hair on my face. But today, I wear a beard, and it's part of building my brand and an evolution in my personal brand and how my looks, etc. So establish a presence. Also establish a presence within your community. So where are the areas where you are? Are you in a church community? What are you known for within the church environment? Do you have a digital presence? You need to make it very strong and forceful. You're not just there to follow the gossips and the dress styles and etc. But make a contribution in the area that you want to be known for. So make a contribution, get a presence. Now you need to be aware of yourself and the areas and the things that you are doing. Being conscious of yourself at every point in time is important. Then once you get to the awareness, I call something the 3 C's of personal branding: clarity, consistency, and constancy. Consistency is not the same as constancy. So 3 C's: clarity, consistency, and constancy. Clarity in terms of being clear in what you want people to know you for, and having the opportunity to check from people whether to or to validate whether. So Eunice, I think that I want people to know me as a marketing expert. And what do you think about me? Or even without telling you what I think, what I want to be known for, ask people, Adeline, what do you think about me? Now, what's your impression or perception about me in my professional area? And if you're not able to define who I want to be, then it means that I haven't been clear in my mind. I need to go to rethink, relook at myself and doing a few things consciously. Then if I say I want to be known for this, I've got to be consistent in what I'm doing. Consistency is the continuous doing of the things that I want to be known for. So if I start a blog post and I say I want to publish weekly, I must be consistent in what I'm doing about it. But I need to be spontaneous, constant. When something is required of me, it's not that I'm going to think and try to bring all the things together, but I've got to be constant, be spontaneous in delivering on the things that I want to do. Then the final thing I'll say on building a personal brand is seek feedback. Look for people, important people that you value, you cherish their views, that can put you on the right path, and get feedback from them. You need to know whether you are doing what you want to do and whether it's achieving the purpose or you're on the right path. And I think that if you follow those 5 steps, you will be able to build your own personal brand positively.
Thank you so much, Ni. So from what you said, you are supposed to define yourself, you are supposed to establish a presence, and also make sure you hit to the 3 C's of personal branding. That is clarity, consistency, and constancy. Thanks so much. Adeline, would you want to add some in this regard?
I in fact had 5 questions to ask
Okay.
yourself in this situation. So I won't go into it just so that people can ask themselves the same thing basically is
Mm-hmm.
what am I really good at?
Mm-hmm.
What do I really love? So that you're authentic.
Mm.
What's my greatest success or achievement? Why should others listen to what I have to say? What experience do I have that others don't?
Mm. Powerful.
Please remember that personal branding, as Henry mentioned, yes, the 3 C's are there in terms of ensuring that you establish your brand. These are the things you should do, but you should have a level of authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
If not, in the middle of the road, all your well-laid bricks will come crumbling down. So I believe that these questions can help you build that kind of authenticity. What do you really love?
Mm.
Because if you don't and you go and think that you are the next, for lack of a better example, KKD, and KKD is so unique in the way he presents himself, and you try
Right.
to do that when that is not you,
Mm.
no matter the 3 C's you establish, it will come crumbling down.
This is deep, eh? It's very deep. Being your true, authentic self. Thanks,
To a
Adeline.
certain,
Thanks
to a
for bringing that.
certain, to a certain level, by the way.
Mhm.
At the very core, it has to be
Yes,
authentic. Yes.
I get you. I get you. Okay, so can you share with us how building a strong brand has helped you in your career space? Like the stories of how your names have been mentioned in the boardroom because of the kind of reputation you built for yourself and how far it has brought you in your career. So that the young ones we can learn from it. Me- Okay.
I was thinking Henry would take that, or I should take it.
Uh, okay, so let me help you. Okay, Henry, you go first. You
Yeah,
are
mute.
muted, please.
Oh,
You are muted.
All right,
Yes.
sorry.
Good. Yes.
So I'll go. There are several ways, several ways.
Mm-hmm.
Presently, today, as we speak, my job in my organization is marketing and corporate communications. There have been several instances. I'll tell you 2 stories. I had a meeting. There was a meeting in which I was on with. You had where UBA operates in 24 countries globally. So in this meeting, the group chairman was there, the group managing director was there, the entire executive for the group were present. It was being driven by the group chairman. All country MDs were present, 24 MDs. All heads of marketing and corporate communications were there. There were some business heads of the business units that were there as well. And we're having a conversation about one of the business units. Now, the chairman requested to constitute a committee to, as it were, delve into a particular matter and offer feedback. Truth of the matter, before then, I had not contributed or said anything in the meeting, and I was quietly observing the thing. Now, to form the committee, the regional CEO of the region in which I operate, he's not my direct boss. I don't work with the person day to day. Said that let's pick that guy from Ghana. Why was that? I had not engaged with the person regularly, but based on reports and things that I do, and when I saw, I think that his diligence, I think that he brings a certain level of experience to the table, and therefore he can do this. And I felt very good about it. I went onto the committee. I was appointed secretary to the committee, and when we had to do the presentation to the group chairman, I was the person doing this presentation to the chairman. And good moments for me in my career. Again, in the same area, my current MD calls me, well, I won't tell you the name, but the abbreviation for what he calls me is DG. I won't tell you what DG stands for. It's not
Okay.
Director General, but he calls me DG. And a lot of the time, he told me that whenever he lacks clarity about something and not sure who to send it to, he'll bring it to me because he knows that I'll figure it out. Beyond establishing my credibility and career in the area of marketing and corporate communications, I also bring some additional values to the table, management, etc. But I also run a lot of projects and fix issues. So he knows that when it's broken and I need someone to fix it, I can call on Henry to fix it. And I think that I have been able to deliver on that consistently in a way that I continue to be given tasks of things that sometimes, in fact, there are some that he knows they are not in my area, it's not my concern, it's not my job area, but he brings them to me or puts me on a project with other people so I can deliver that. So I'd like to say something earlier about what you love to do and how well you do it. So it's not only about your job. You probably may be in one area or career area that you're doing, but you have some other skills, other things that comes to you naturally, or things that you'd love to do that we say your hobbies. How do you bring some of these hobbies and things that you love to do to bear on the things you do, and how does that distinguish you from other people? They're important. I have several stories along the lines, and as some of you may know, for those who follow my profile and followed me on LinkedIn, you see my profile there. I've moved around quite a bit, and therefore I've got several stories in all the places where I've been that I can share to you. That has really defined me. And honestly, I have always stood out on the back.
Powerful story out there. Beautiful one. Thank you, Ni, for sharing. Adeline, would you want to add?
So one thing about personal branding is that there is the communications aspect of it. So that is one way of building a brand, communicating what the brand is. And for me, I think when you are able to communicate the brand as in who you are well, it gives you a leg up in that you can enter a room and people already know who you are, which really helps. For me, I think the number one way that personal branding has helped me is networking. People approach me saying, "Oh, I love what you do here," on this platform, or sometimes they will send me messages on the platform and say, "Oh, I really love what you do. Can we connect?" And me, I'm always ready for a good connection. I mean, I'll give you my phone number in a flash. So for me, it has really increased my network, my connections immensely. There are people that, and I always tell people that God works through people, basically.
That's right.
So
That's
you
right.
will be so surprised the importance of networking. The people that I have met, the opportunities that have been given to me because of the personal brand I built and how I've communicated it has been immense. And I think Henry mentioned one thing about confidence in terms of the value that, because of the added value you have showcased, it also makes you confident. I remember I was at there was a job I was at where even though they were laying everybody off, myself included, I remember the people at the top. One of them said, "Oh, you're really good at branding yourself on so platform. You're really doing well." At the end of the day, nobody can take that away from you. You have showcased exactly what you're good at doing. So even if things are not going your way, I mean, you have in some ways proved yourself. Yes, what you're able to do. If you can sell yourself, what can't you sell?
Everything. Everything. Thank you, Adeline. The networking bit is very important. Yes, indeed. And God works through people. Thanks for sharing, Adeline. Thanks so much. Okay, so I would want to ask from you, how does personal branding looks like in our days? And as compared to the days of our parents, how can I identify that, this guy has made a positive, solid brand for himself in this space as compared to the days of our parents?
So I believe that compared to our parents, we have so much in terms of available platforms to communicate who
Yeah,
we are as brands.
yeah.
I can do that without going to GBC.
Mm-hmm.
That basically the gatekeepers of media have been asked, and we all have platforms available to us. You'll be so surprised how a consistent WhatsApp status can even help you build your brand. So we have so many available platforms to communicate our brand, and I think that is what is different.
Yeah. Thanks. Hi, Nee. Do you want to put some icing on the cake?
Plus, back in the day, in addition to what Adeline said, beyond the channels not being available, your network was kind of limited to specific areas. Your influence was restricted. But really, today, we are limitless in terms of the influence that we give. So, like Adeline said, there are many people who reach out that you have influenced. That so there was a post somebody put out there about mention somebody that influences you, or someone that you are looking forward to meet, etc. And several people were mentioned, and I have no clue. I didn't know them, etc. But based on what I do, writing about homes and marketing and giving tips and the work that I do at the Institute of Public Relations, which I call my national service, by the way, has put me in a place where I influence and interact with a lot of people. But how do we really set ourselves apart from that? So beyond the channels, that in the olden days, we would say that personal branding was really not my view, that it wasn't really important to people. People were not conscious about it, but people were known for a brand. So I have an auntie, call her Mama Hazel. Some of us call her, like to call her, tease her by calling her teacher. But Mama Hazel had a cane in her car anytime. And back in the day, like the proverb will say that one man gives birth, or a man gives birth, or a couple gives birth, but the child is raised by a community or the family. And I would tell you that Mama Hazel will meet you in town and discipline you if you are misbehaving, whether or not you are in school. Auntie Letitia would meet you in town and would draw her kid and lash you out. So we knew people just within our communities based on the things they did, and we built their brands for them. Some of them were not deliberate or conscious about it. But this day, with the competing interests, with the competing skills, times for jobs. So this morning we're doing this webinar. After this, I'm sure people are going and heading out for weddings, for funerals, for social, events here and there. And there's so much competition for our space. And that's one of the importance that we need to be deliberate about the things we do within our brand. But like Adeline said earlier, it's easier to pick up from the things that you love to do, the things that come to you easily. That way you don't struggle to build that brand of yourself.
Wow. Thank you. Mama Hazel had a strong brand of discipline. Okay. Thank you for
Yes, yes,
sharing.
yes.
Okay. Yes. And Adeline mentioned something that struck me as well. A consistent WhatsApp status can also put you in the limelight. Okay. So to that, I want to further ask that what other tools or vehicles, apart from the social media statuses and things, what other tools and vehicles can help you build that strong brand? Maybe you are very good in your space. How can you come out? Like, what are the tools?
So yeah, so the tools are basically the tactical. So first of all, you have to ask yourself, what is my strategy? And before you ask yourself, what is my strategy, you have to ask yourself, where am I now and where do I want to go? right? So you have to ask yourself, at this point, where am I? Basically the situational analysis. What are my, you do your SWOT, strength, weakness, all these things that we do for organizations, you have to do for yourself to do an analysis of your present brand. An honest one, because you'll be surprised how delusional people are. An honest analysis of what your brand is. And then ask yourself, where do I want to be, and give yourself the 5 years or 2 years in 2 years. And then you ask yourself, how do I get there? That is the strategy I'm going to use to build my brand. And that is what would then determine the tools that you use. So, for example, if I want to build a very like serious business brand, consultancy, strategy kind of thing, I wouldn't, then this is my opinion, I wouldn't use Instagram as my first point of contact.
Mm.
I wouldn't use Instagram because Instagram is a bit more beauty based. It doesn't have as much depth to explain things. So you would then probably use webinars, you would use going for conferences, putting yourself out there like this, like having speaking engagements.
Mm.
So we can list the tools available, social media, as you mentioned, and even for the social media, Twitter has a different tone.
Mm-hmm.
Twitter has a different audience, has a different
Mm-hmm.
niche compared to LinkedIn. What you do on LinkedIn is not what you do on Twitter or Facebook.
Yeah.
If it's not social media, are you doing webinars? Do you have your personal landing page? You can create a personal landing page. Um, so if I want to build, I said that I am an author, 7 books that I've written. How am I communicating that I can have group discussions? I can have a community on Facebook. I can put my things on WhatsApp. All of these are based on number one, where am I now? Number two, where do I want to go? Number three, how do I get there? And those tools are picked based on that.
Yeah. Thanks so much. Yes, people, please start dropping your questions. We will come to them very soon. Yeah, Harry, would you want to add up onto the tools or vehicles that can help us build a solid personal brand?
Vehicles that can help us. We've discussed some of them actually
Yeah.
earlier as we were on this. Am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Loud
All
and
right.
clear.
So we've discussed that some of these things earlier, but just as I've put it in the chat, right? I said determine your essence, your brand essence. What's your brand essence? Ask yourself, what's my purpose? Why do I even want to do this? Why do I want to build a brand? What's the importance of this thing to me at all? What are my personal values? What are the things that I'd love to do? And what are the values? What are the things that I will not do? So once you do, you know the values that you stand for. It helps you to, to start building your personal brand. Again, you need to, Adeline said it in a very succinct way. If you can sell yourself, what can't you sell? You need to
Yeah.
determine your brand position or your value proposition. What
Yeah.
do I have that I'm going to give out to the people? What do I have? Or what people see me? What do they, how do they, what image do they have of me? So I spoke about Mama Hazel and her stresses of discipline and won't mind killing you in town. But how do people determine or how do people define you? You understand? Because in all of this personal branding that yes, you're building of yourself. It's really for people, because you're building up a brand to influence people, to show that you are an authority in one area, in some area, or something that you do that is unique to you. So do those people able to position you like that? Then in doing all of these things, Adeline made the point earlier, but I want to say it in a different way about the identity of that brand. a lot of the time we talk about organizations and then we think that is the logo, the color. Yes, those things are important. But I started by talking about the image and perception about people, about products, about organizations. And the perception or the image that you build about yourself is very important. So the identity that you have, of course, your name is there that will define you. But when people mention your name, and you hear Adeline, Mrs. Sutherland, what follows? What comes to you on hearing that name? What is your story? What are the stories that people tell about you? Like so today I can say that I know Adeline is a son who is an author, who is in a brand expert. What are the stories people tell about your personality, your visual identity, and your communication style? What's your style? Are you liberal? Are you what kind of communication skills styles do you exhibit? And then finally, I'll talk about just your communication strategy, building your communication strategy, the knowing what to say when and how, knowing what to say when and how. Building brand is a very difficult and a serious thing. So you don't just join or the bandwagon and when conversations are happening on social media, you just jump on and just say anything at all that you want to say or you are saying what we got to think twice about the comment you are putting out on a post on Twitter or Instagram anywhere. Because those things tend to also define your brand and your brand attributes. So it's important that we understand these things. Therefore, knowing what to say when and how is an important tool or skill that you've got to have to help you shape your brand. Otherwise, if you are loose and you're not cautious, you realize that you tend to lose some of the essence of the things that you want to do, and people will not take you serious for that.
Yeah. Thank you, my honorable panelists. Well said, Ni. Um, I have some comments and questions coming through. At this point, I would want to go into that. From Jemima, Jemima is saying that your personal branding should guide you in any developmental decisions you take. Example, the course you want to study or the kind of professional body you want to join. That was a comment from Jemima. Thanks, Jemima, for bringing that through. There is a question from Eric Labby. Eric Labby wants to know if temperament has any influence on your personal branding. Does temperament have any influence on your personal brand?
I don't know. Okay, so of course it does in some ways. That's in terms of being authentic. So if you're choleric, maybe you tend to be a bit direct or not as more extrovert than hard phlegmatic. Is that it? So whether you're an extrovert or an introvert, it affects your personal brand. But I honestly don't like putting myself in a box. So I am not a big fan of temperament. I believe at your core, yes, you do have a certain uh, temperament type. I think I'm choleric sometimes on good days, on bad. On good days, I'm sanguine or something. But I believe in the you changing as a person and what feels the most authentic to you. What felt the most authentic to me at 30 is very different from at 40. So it would be good to, yes, have your core and say this is who I am. But my problem is that temperament such people have this idea of this is my temperament and I'm an introvert. And so because of that, they let it stand in their way. One thing about personal branding is that to build your brand, you have to communicate your brand. Communication is essential. So you have to put yourself out there. And some people will say, oh no, I'm not that type. I don't want to. Like, you can't say you're building a brand and not put yourself out there. It's not possible. Like if somebody has done that, please let me know. Because sometimes, even in building my own brand, people have approached me and gone like, "Yeah, I really like what you're doing, but putting yourself out there for everybody to see you, that is it's scary." But it has to be done. It's part of building a brand. And so please, can we not have those set mindsets, way of thinking that this is who I am, and I think it's ever changing. It's a balance. I hope I've been able to communicate something.
Yeah, you have. You have.
Yeah.
Nee, anything to add in that space?
I like to say that building a brand is like getting on the stage to act a drama or to play a role in a movie. Now says that Mr. Promise helps him in his profession. I think, yes, you may be right. Yes, you may be right. But I said that it's like getting on stage for a play. So we get into character. We said that we are consciously and deliberately building that image of yourself. So you could be a very quiet person, but get into a role that you have to talk. And the act of getting in front of the camera to speak while you're actually a quiet person is what determines how you have been able to brand yourself. So get into character. Getting into character is super important in building a brand.
Yes.
So your temperament definitely should be considered and will help in some way or the other. Mine comes naturally, my temperament flows with what I do. But I can also be very quiet and not talk when I have to, because like Adeline said, as you go up, things begin to change. So on the management table, you don't just begin to open your mouth and talk anyhow, or just begin to talk. You know, I speak, I'm a straightforward person. I say it as it is and I move on. But at some level, you've got to add empathy, you've got to, you know, put yourself in people's shoes. There are things that you need to be conscious of. So your temperament is important, yes, but please take this, get into character for your brand, build what you want to be done. It's just like putting up a house. You decide the size of house you want to build, how many rooms you want in there, the facilities and structures you want to put in there. That's how you build a brand. So get into character and you will have a very solid brand. So yes, it's important, but character makes it all.
Yeah, thank you, panelists. You have to put yourself in character. You shouldn't fixate yourself about temperament. Okay, thank you. There is another question from Dede. Dede wants to know, does building a brand necessarily have to do with just career building, or it can be done in morals and values?
Yeah, it's not about career building. I mean, building a brand is not about career building. It's about what people know you for. So, like Eunice tried to help us distinguish between positive and negative brand of individuals. There are people, I mean, when I was growing up, we say, oh, no, not grow the boy, yeah. I mean, to it, that's the thief, that's the person there. Everybody knows that it's somebody who kill first. You understand? That's about your morals or what people say. Oh, this guy may be a very this lady may be a very loose person or something. Those are negative things people say about us, but also that speaks to our morals, who we are. You understand? So building a brand is not really about a career. It's about everything. I mean, how you dress is also part of your career, or forms part of your brand and your values. How you talk, the things you say, the kind of things you post. So I like to talk about constant posting on your social media or your WhatsApp status alone. So, but what are you posting there? Those things can be said to be defining who you are, but also speaks to your morals or the values of things that are inbuilt in you, your inner being. Like the Bible will say, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So the thing that comes out of you, which may be morals, also tend to influence or define or determine your brand status. So it's not only about career, it's about everything. And you cannot be hot and cold. Yes, I did say get into character, but even getting into character in both of the stages, people must be able to define clearly who you are. So you are not all things to all men, all times.
Okay, thank you. There is another question here. as we wrap up, somebody wants to know, what should be avoided in building a positive brand, personal brand? Yeah. What are the things you should avoid in building a personal brand for yourself?
I think you should really avoid going with the wind, if that makes sense. Just because whatever is popular is what you go with. So one day you're here because everybody is there. So try as much as possible to be consistent in what your brand is. And then impatience as well. It takes a while to build a brand. And now I'll give an example with even LinkedIn. I think, Henry, did you check me out and realize that we've been connected for a long time? Like in the beginning, it was so easy. The number of MDs I'm connected to on LinkedIn, because I started LinkedIn in 2012. But now, LinkedIn is so difficult because everybody is now tuned in into what it is, and you can't just send just anyone an invite. Basically saying that it takes time and patience, so don't be impatient. If you're impatient, you will do things to attract the crowd, and they may not be the best things. And don't compare yourself to others. Remember, we are trying to build our personal brand, and the idea is to have mentors, all right, but not to feel that we have to do cut and paste. Yeah, I think those are the three things. I read somewhere that people remember things in threes, so I've started trying to put all my points in threes.
Yeah.
So I was
Okay.
asked to say that yes, avoid yourself. Avoid yourself first. Avoid yourself is being true to yourself and listening to the negative voice that comes to you. So you want to do this, and as human beings, always you'd always have that. Can I really do this? Is it possible? Avoid that part of yourself and stay true to the cause consistently. The second thing is avoid negative people around you. When you start, or as you begin the plan for consistently building your brand. Hey, and I said, what's the sound? Papa, so papa. Hey, now where's your if he look at that guy? What does he think? He thinks he wants to become a motivational speaker or something. So people will throw a lot of things at you, but once you know your purpose and what is driving you, you stay true to the cause and you are consistent. The sad part is that when you are struggling to build something, people don't see it. They mock you and all of that. But when you build the thing and you get there, like, isn't not this guy who was my classmate that we work in the neighborhood and things together? How is he the one who is, now talking to people all over the place and international speaker and writing books and hey, so so first of all, avoid yourself, the negative part of yourself, avoid the negative vibes and people that try to draw you back. And I think that those two would help you to be able to stay the course.
Thanks so much. You two have done justice to this. Thanks so much. I would want to ask from the team, any questions, please? If you have any question before we wrap up, you can put up your hand and you'll be called. We have a few minutes to get off. Okay, so there's a question from Eugenia Yeboah. How do you separate your emotional needs when building your brand? Or does it play a role?
Can she mention, like, can she elaborate so that we answer it well?
Okay.
What does she mean by emotional
Eugenia.
needs? Eugenia, can you help
Okay.
us?
Okay, so Eugenia, you can drop further
Or take
details
the
on the
microphone
question.
and then I'm sure Eugenia can speak and then ask the question, explain
Yeah, why
further.
not? Yeah.
Yes. Alternatively, you can unmute and then come up with your question.
Yeah.
Good morning to you all.
Good
Good
morning.
Thanks for the
morning.
when you're building a brand, some people are very emotional. I don't know if I should say they get easily sad when they are corrected and all that. Coming from that direction
No,
or that
we
perspective.
lost you. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I lost you at a point.
Hello.
So she's emotional and get okay. Yes, please go ahead.
Please go
Yes, so
ahead.
I'll say corrected in this or home, wherever this goes. They get very sad or they feel down and get down in a way. So how do you overcome that? Or does it come to play when, for example, they get
Okay, I think I get what she's saying.
Okay.
I think I get what you're saying. So when we talk about building personal brands, we use the same principles that we use when building product brands. So the idea is that when you have a product brand, we have a tone that we use when we are speaking. So if you go online and you are asking a question or making a comment under, for example, when I was at L'Oreal, a Maybelline post, the way the response is very different because we have a way of a tone to the brand. So who the brand is determines how the brand even speaks and interacts. So whatever brand you have built, it informs how you interact. But please remember that there's a difference between product and a human being. And a human being cannot be controlled 100% of the time. So you do one of the things Henry mentioned it's about being deliberate, and I'll add another word is being intentional. This is who I am as
Yeah.
a brand.
Yeah.
So, however, I have to have a tone to my brand, how I speak, and these things are learned. Please, nobody's born with a perfect brand. These things are learned. However, you are a human being, not a product. You can't compare me to Garnier. Garnier can be a perfect brand. I can't because I'm a person. The idea is that because I'm being intentional, even when I make a mistake, I have a plan as to how to correct that mistake. And you even see it in personal brands like YouTubers who make mistakes and you see that they bring out an apology video, right? You've seen that a lot. So these
Yeah.
are ways they counteract. And Henry, being a PR person, understands crisis management and all that. We bring that into the personal brand. I hope that is clear. I don't know if Henry wants to add something.
Yes. Thank
You've,
you.
you've- yeah, you've said it. So
Yeah. Thank you, Adeline. Do we have any more questions, please? Okay. Okay, so in the absence of further questions, I would want to give the opportunity to my panelists to give us their closing remarks or their closing statements about the topic for discussion today. So maybe Adeline is that you go
Yes,
first,
yes,
yeah.
yes. Basically, when I give my closing, I'll say bye bye.
Yes,
Okay,
thank you.
so just please remember that everybody has a personal brand because everybody has value that they are adding. So please don't say that I don't have anything to showcase. There's something that you have that you can build on. Number two, that requires steady, that requires intentional building of the brand, intentional building of the brand, and steady learning things. I am a member of the Twitter and YouTube University. Our generation barely has excuses as to why we are not learning. If you have identified your added value, please um, build up on it. Learn, learn, learn. And finally, there are so many ways to build your personal brand. But don't forget, for me, the most important thing is that human connection. Be authentic, and connect with your audience. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Adeline. Thanks for coming. Adeline will take leave of us and Henry will keep us
Hi,
going.
everybody.
Thank you.
I'll
Thank you,
put my
Adeline.
how do you call it, LinkedIn in the chat. Please send me your invite.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. And nice to meet you, Henry and Eunice.
Nice
Pleasure,
to meet
pleasure,
you
Adeline.
too.
Wish you
I'll
the best.
definitely connect. Okay. All right. So, Ni?
Yeah.
Yes.
So we've said about the things that you need to do to build a brand, but what does the brand help you to do? I think that it helps you to, and let me go back to what Adeline said earlier. Learn.
Yes.
And I'm actually in school right now. I'm in class. I had to run out of class to come do this webinar. So learning is important. We've always got to learn, improve ourselves, add value, and it's important that it will distinguish us in so many ways. What I was going to say is that when you build a personal brand, it helps you to reach your goals quicker. You are being intentional about it, so you are able to stay focused and reach your goals quicker, particularly your career goals. Now, it helps you to create a great impression and you earn people's trust. People can trust you, that they have confidence in you and respect you and your values and your strong brand. Because see, we said when you are building a brand, you are being consistent about something. So people know what you are. They respect your values. They know that if I go to Eunice with this, she probably will say no, or she will say yes. And this is something that Eunice will jump at because of what she stands for, what her values are. So it's important that you understand that. You need to take some time as you do this to always step back and reflect on the things that you are doing and ask yourself, am I still on the course? Am I still doing what I wanted to do? Am I still achieving my purpose for setting up this brand? And if yes, you continue. If no, we always need to do tweaking and adjustment as we go along. Now, watch out for opportunities because to do this, there are several opportunities that may come your way. Who are the other people that are doing similar things, or who are the people I want to learn from? And these days, mentorship is not only about people that you know or people that you meet. You can have mentorship by just following somebody's steps of what they've done in the past and look at what they are doing in social, on their blog and other things, and you can learn a lot of things from them. So look at other people who are doing great things that you can learn from and look out for opportunities. And I'm sure that if you follow these few things that we've discussed this morning, the sky would rather be the beginning, and we would be able to reach our goals and objectives as far as our careers and our jobs are concerned. Thank you very much for having me. It's been wonderful with you. And if there are any more questions, I'm more than happy to take them. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Dottey. There is one last question for now. So his question came in late and he's apologizing. What he wants to know is that how would he be able to position himself if he wants to attract high-profile individuals to his brand?
So you've got to first of all build your brand and look at, so what are the interests of these high-profile people? It will probably be in a particular area, or if not in an area, so you want to attract, say, just MDs and CEOs. What are the things that are important to MDs and CEOs? Probably developing their human resource, the people that they have. They're looking at increasing or improving profitability. They're looking at building efficiency in their systems and things like that. So you've got to identify what's important to them. Always answer this question if you're looking at giving something to a third party. We call it with him. What's in it for me? That's your side. But what's in it for them? What's in it for the other person? So if you can identify or answer the question is in what they are looking out for, what is important to them, then you can begin to pitch those things to them. Marketing, we say, is about identifying a problem and putting up a solution to that problem, solving a societal need. Therefore, if you know the things that are important to them and how you can get them, then you can begin to pitch these things to them and then it becomes easier for you to connect to these high-profile individuals as you call it.
Okay. Thank you, Nidote. So he brought a follow-up question. He says that if I'm to offer them value as strategy, what kind of value are they most likely going to be looking for? Please don't say it depends.
But it really depends on what, and we can pick up a conversation on this. If you identify in those particular areas, because one size does not fit all, really. You need to look at the needs and interest of person A will differ from person B. So you've got to definitely identify what their needs are, what their attributes would be, what they will be looking out for, and then you can pitch to them. If you generalize, you tend to shoot yourself, because then there are other people who are often more bespoke and targeted solutions. Therefore, you will not be able to connect to them. So it really depends, sad to say.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Nidote, for doing us the honor today. We appreciate your time and the sacrifice. I know you have a class, but you sacrificed to be with us. Thank you very much. And on your last note, concerning the learning, this is what the Mentoring Cafe is about, to provide an opportunity for us all to be ever learning. So in that vein, we bring you our first mentoring. Now, can you put up? Yes, our first ever mentoring workshop that will be happening on the 20th of May. So please, we have gold packages, we have platinum packages. You can start saving now and be a part of this mentoring workshop. You don't want to be left out. This and more, what the session we had today, we are going to have more. We'll have more resource people available to take us through. We're going to have one-on-one sessions and all that. So please block your calendars for the 20th of May and come, let us learn together. I have been your host. My name is Eunice Nyarko Asumadu. I want to take this opportunity to thank Na Adokale Amufa. She is the chief mentor and the convener and then the vision bearer of the Mentoring Cafe. Thank you, Na, for this opportunity. I see Emmanuel Otredakun has joined us. He's the minister of the Church of Pentecost. Thanks for joining. I want to thank everybody for taking time off their schedules to be with us, learn together. I believe you had fun learning with us. We are the Mentoring Cafe. Thank you. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Eunice.
Sorry?
Thank you, Nee. Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
You.
Thank you, Eunice. Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Eunice, well done.
Thank you, Mr. Amwa. Dede, thanks for joining. I see you, Emefasun Kwamils. Thanks for joining. I see you, Padiki. Thanks for joining.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Well done, girl. Bye.
Thank you, Emefa. Bye-bye. Harriet, I see you. Yes, Pastor. Thank you for coming. All right. Jude, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Dr. Goldie, thanks. Thank you for coming. Ella, thanks, Gamali. Hello, Bill. We've just ended the session. We are going to drop our YouTube link in the chat box. You can get the recording over there. The session just ended. Please do well to follow us on YouTube, on LinkedIn to get more updates. Thank you. Bye-bye.